Morning. Welcome to the Bare Bones edition of Ken and Ken in the morning. Good morning, Ken. How you doing?
Why, good morning there, Ken. It's a little out of our element, but I think we can make do.
Yeah. So greetings from the Rumble studio, not our normal studio. Let me share this on X to the Bears community here real quick. So we're not to all our normal places this morning, primarily because our main studio is, for lack of a better word, we'll call it under construction.
Yeah, more fun StreamYard stuff.
Telling you. Hold on. There we go. Geez, I hope I could spell this morning, huh? There we go. Now we're posted in Bears Twitter. So right now we're on Rumble, Ken the Bear Fan on YouTube, the Huddle Sports on Facebook, and at Talking Sports 18 on X. Um, yeah, we can't even put our names on. There's no bubble to put our names on. This is bare bones, but it's something. And we already
My
got two people
God.
watching this morning, so feel free to chime in if you're watching on Rumble or Facebook or wherever you're watching from. Um, no live viewer count is available for X. Interesting. Um, JB and I played with this last night for a little bit just to uh, see if it worked. It worked. It's not the best thing in the world, but like anything else, I think the more I play with it, the better it'll look. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, so you were gone yesterday. There was quite a bit that happened yesterday.
As in, which are we talking about?
It,
Because
it, it was Black Monday.
oh yeah. Freaking Pete Carroll getting the fucking axe. I was not expecting that one in any way, shape, or form.
Well, Joseph is
Yeah, we're
Joseph.
just waiting on Joe to give permission for his camera and mic to the app there, and then
Yeah, there we go. I made Joe a moderate. There,
hey, there we go.
hey, they're the eyes of Joe. Good morning. Welcome to the Rumble Studio, Joe. I got no audio on you.
There we go.
There you go.
Hey.
So, dude, Pete Carroll got fired.
Yeah. I cannot say I'm terribly surprised. It's not a big shock.
The one that surprised
I,
me,
I
Jay.
did kind of I did kind of think that they might give him another shot. Yeah.
All right, he locked up for a minute in the car. Stefanski getting fired was the one I was shocked about a
Um,
little bit.
I wasn't fully shocked on that one because we have heard the rumors that Stefanski might be getting the axe. But God, I
Yeah.
was not ready for all the freaking room. Well, I shouldn't say rumors. The idiots clamoring. We need to bring Deion Sanders here to Cleveland so he can be the head coach. Are you kidding me?
Hold on. You're telling me you didn't expect that?
I was hoping that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, bro. As soon as there's a firing, the idiots come out of the woodwork, dude. Like, oh, you know what we need? We need Deion Sanders to coach our team, or we need this, or we need that. Like, it's yeah. But as far as Pete Carroll goes, Pete made a lot of decisions this year that, in hindsight, like probably contributed to him getting fired. You know, like coming in and changing up the offensive line when you had an offensive line that worked last year and turning it into the worst line in football. Um, Hiring your sons as offensive line coach, and then when the line is the worst in the league, not firing them or not, demoting them, not like it just there was a feeling of nepotism that was going on. Like whether that's the case or not, it was definitely on the minds of fans. Like I saw it on the subreddit from halfway through the season on. Like, why does Pete refuse to fire his son, who is the worst offensive line coach in the league? Like, I mean, if you, I don't know, if you have the worst offensive line in the league, does that make you the worst offensive line coach in the league?
Not necessarily, but I would say that it does not help your case in any way, shape, or form.
Well, because the question is, see, like, nuance matters, right? So last year, the Raiders actually had a serviceable offensive line. So if the only difference is you, then I would say, yeah, that probably does make you the worst offensive line coach in the league, right? And then Pete, deciding to stick with Geno and roll with Geno, and not just Geno, it was the veteran players and not play the rookies, even when the season was out of hand, to not even see what you have, right? I know that was another sticking point for a lot of fans. They were upset that let's try out the rookies. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose another game? Woo. So,
Or is it the fact of him winning that last game against Kansas City and screwing up your number 1 pick?
well, he didn't, because the Giants already won. So the Raiders actually got a pass right before their game started. They got told, like, oh, the Giants already won. No matter what, we're the number 1 pick, so you can go ahead and win this game. And then they came out and they actually tried, like, with their third string guys, and it was the Raiders won a game. So we didn't actually get penalized for that.
Okay. Well, see, I had thought that they had slipped down to number 3, but hey, that's awesome that you guys still got the number 1 overall pick and he didn't screw you that hard.
Yeah, no, we still have the number 1 overall pick, but we're gonna pick like third or fourth, and then, like, it's gonna alternate between the rounds. Like, we're gonna pick somewhere between first and fourth in all the rounds.
Getting some connections issue there. Man, we're having issues everywhere with the internet today. Yeah, just threw the
But
word out.
at least we're here, man. Oh crap!
I heard, oh crap. Joe's like, oh crap. There we go. Man, yeah,
This,
the cell phone internet gods are not being kind to you this morning. Wow. Okay. I'm telling you, you gotta love technology, man. We're making it work. We're trying to make it work here. Okay. I mean, you can only do what you can do, but now there's 6 head coaching jobs open. The Raiders' job is interesting. I think that's going to be a complete gut job.
It might be, because you got the first overall pick, you fired your coach, and Tom Brady's going to be one of the guys massively in on picking the coach. This might be the starting of Tom Brady organizing this team.
Well, but I know every year we say, oh, yeah, but no, it's not going to happen. But could it be different this year? Could Max Crosby be traded for a bunch of number 1s to add to that rebuild? I mean, if you trade Max, right, and you trade him to a playoff contending team, because that's where he's got no trade clause. He's only going to waive it. Last year he said, I'll only waive it to go to Detroit. Well, that's not going to work, right? Because there's no leverage. So he's got to be willing to go to a couple places. And I would assume a playoff caliber team would make his list. You get 2 more first rounders for him this year, next year. So the next 2 years, you got 2 first round picks, right? So this year you'd have the 1 and the whatever. Next year you'd have the whatever and the whatever. That's 4 number 1s over the next 2 years, plus your 2s, plus whatever, maybe it's 2 1s and a 3 or 2 1s and a 4. to get Max. Some guys have talked like, well, the Bears could do a one DJ Moore and something else. You could have a package with a player, even though I find that highly unlikely. But could this be a complete rebuild period for the Raiders? And Max Crosby is kind of yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's out of the room, but Spytech had a
Yeah, Joe, I can't hear a word
that
you're
Max
saying,
will.
man. You're coming in broken and cut up. Like I said, the cell phone gods are not being kind to you today.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we got you a little better.
Yeah, that's a little better.
I said Spytech, the GM for the Raiders, had a press conference yesterday, and he said something that leads me to believe that Max will not be traded. He said, for too long we've been letting good players walk out the building, and that's not, you're not supposed to let good players leave, and we're not in the business of doing that. We're not going to do that. So and it was specifically in reference to somebody asked about Max being traded, and that was his answer. Was like, I respect Max as a Raider, and we don't want to keep letting good players walk out the building. Like last year, we had a couple good players walk, and now look, they're playing good football somewhere else. He was talking about Spillane and Trayvon Merrick, a couple of guys. Divine Diablo is actually playing really well in Atlanta.
He definitely wasn't talking
So
about hops.
I mean, but the thing with that,
you
but
guys keep
so,
trying to play him outside, man. I told you.
I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, I don't know. Do you think you have to do a complete gut job to this team, or do you think? I mean,
Yes and no. Like, I don't think you need a roster overhaul, right? Like you have a few players that you can build on. You need to add to your offensive line. I would really try to overhaul a good chunk of that defense. But as far as coaching staff goes, I really like Patrick Graham. I think the Raiders have not done him any favors for the last 3 or 4 years, and he's still managed to put a product on the field that is at least watchable. Like, the Raiders' defense has not been their real issue the last 4 or 5 years, Like, could it be better? Of course, but with what he's been given to work with, like he's had them in the middle of the pack somewhere, and at best and at worst, it's been like 20, 25, which is, they're still not the worst defense in the league. And that 25 was this year. So where they were on the field for 3/4 of the game, every game, because we were going 3 and out, or Gino was throwing interceptions. I'm sure Patrick Graham will probably be gone because a new head coach is going to want to hire his own staff. I just don't see it as necessary. Like, I would like to keep Patrick Graham, but I'm sure he'll probably be gone unless the new head coach is like, hey, you know what? Yeah, leave him. Like, it's one less guy I have to hire, and he already knows the players. He's,
yeah, I think we're gonna see.
because
Fred
he's
just
kind of a built-in go.
I was gonna say Fred just messaged me, so maybe Fred will be. Fred just said he's on his way. He's gonna find us. I told him where he could find us today. He's on the way. We'll see some Fred comments. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm going to say that if you think about it, right? Like, if you keep Patrick Graham, you have a built-in scapegoat. Like, if your defense sucks, you can, fire him after year 1, and it's like, well, the defense sucked. Like,
Yeah, but
I didn't hire him. He wasn't my
coaching carousel in Vegas, where it's like every year a new coach.
Yeah, it's not the best thing. Obviously.
Because you're already in a quarterback carousel. So not only look at you got the worst of possible scenario going on right now. Not only are you in in a quarterback carousel, you're in a coaching carousel.
Yeah. But from what it appears, we're going to get our quarterback. At least we're going to take a shot on a quarterback this year that could provide some stability to the franchise. Because at least we won't be quarterback shopping. Whether they pan out or not, we're not quarterback shopping for another few years, at least 2 or 3 years, if we take Mendoza, right? Because you have to give him a chance to either sink or swim. So
Hey, we can pop the comments up.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Good morning, Fred. Thank you for finding us, man. We're on the backups. Oh, look at I like this one. Wait. Oh, what I just oh, okay. I see what it did. Fred just gained a subscriber on YouTube. Just like that. Pretty cool. Okay. No, there we go. Okay. Nice. And I've got the comments up there too. Kind of not covering Ken, but oh, we lost Joe again. There's Joe. Joe his cell phone this morning. He's gonna be
yeah, so
he's
I
gonna
don't know.
be,
I don't know if you guys heard me that whole time or what.
you dropped
Oh,
off I think at the end there.
I just said the Raiders won't be. If they take Mendoza or if they take Dante Moore, at least they're out of the quarterback market for 2 to 3 years, right? So it's going to
Yeah.
provide some stability in that aspect because you have to give the guy a chance to sink or swim,
Well, I
right?
mean the Raiders are look at the Raiders are very attractive because you've got the number 1 overall pick. You have Max Crosby, you've got Genty, you've got Brock Bowers.
110 million in cap space.
Yeah, so they're attractive for now look at Stefanski's already been linked to the Giants job, the Falcons job, and
Titans.
the Titans job already. Like within an hour of him being fired, he was linked to 3 jobs.
And then I also heard too, if Miami does happen to walk on from McDaniel, they're very interested in him too.
I love McDaniel. McDaniel, at his press conference yesterday, they asked him, "So, are you the coach?" He's like, "Well, until I'm told otherwise, I'm the coach of the Miami Dolphins." So, yeah, I mean, it's almost like what a stupid question to ask. Like,
what do you expect the guy to say? Well, actually, they told me before they're going to announce it a week from now that I'm probably not going to be the coach anymore.
Snoop found this morning on his YouTube. Nice. Raiders are paying $50 million to fired coaches next season. Jeez.
Well, Mark Davis is paying that. I'm not. He can afford it. But hey, so there was a rumor going around yesterday after the Raiders fired Pete Carroll that Brady actually wants to bring in Brian Flores as the head coach and Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator.
Ooh. I would like that. The only problem I have with that is Flores willing to forego his arbitration?
Right. Well, I guess Brady has some sort of connection to Flores from the Patriots days, and so I don't know.
And Dave Ball's a decent coordinator, not a great head coach because he needs somebody to rein him in a bit. But as an offensive coordinator, and with how we've seen Brian Flores act as a coordinator and as a coach, he kind of is that guy that's going to keep people in line. So I could see that tandem working.
Well, here's another interesting thing, right? Like, so when Dable was with Buffalo, we gave him a lot of credit for helping to develop Josh Allen, right?
Yep.
Right.
And then once he left, it was like, well, was he really the one? Because we had Daniel Jones, right? Was he really the one that developed Josh Allen, or was it Ken Norton? And then we see Jackson Dart and how he's started to come along. So it's like, again, you have to ask, is Dable like this quarterback whisperer or what? And so if he is, then it's an interesting prospect for him to go to the Raiders with the number 1 overall quarterback. Like, to see, could Dable, what can Dable do with a Fernando Mendoza or
Abel
you know?
is definitely going to be an OC next year somewhere. And look, you still have the big rumor that hasn't dissipated since he got fired was that he may end up back with the Bills as their OC.
It wouldn't shock me to a degree because Bills fans are either hot or cold on Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator. They either think the guy walks on water or they want to take him out back old Yeller style.
And we still have the possibility of like Nick Sirianni getting fired. Let's say the Eagles are one and done. Or let's say they lose in the divisional round on the road when they could have had the divisional round at home where they're undefeated in the playoffs under Sirianni. They're I mean, I don't know why he's on the hot seat, but he's on the hot seat.
It's because a lot of it is because of how much of a backward step that offense took, and for him not firing the offensive coordinator, because Eagles fans all over that I know are pretty much freaking condemning their offensive coordinator. They're like, this guy's got leprosy or something.
And
It's almost like how it was with us with Barry for defensive coordinator.
and then you've got some other coaches, right, who aren't out of the woods yet. I'm gonna say it, so Ken, don't freak out. Matt LaFleur, they lose to the Bears this weekend. We already had some cases during the season where Packer fans like, I'm done. I don't think he gets fired, but I think his seat coming in the next
Oh,
year is very, very warm.
oh, I talked about this on my impromptu show Saturday. Is that Matt LaFleur? There are rumblings about it, and I even asked all the guys, would you want to see him gone? And pretty much everybody came to the conclusion of LaFleur has earned the right to get the next year, but that's pretty much it, is the make or break.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like you got into the playoffs, so okay, he's gotten to the playoffs. Here's the funny thing about Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love, and this is why I think his seat is hot. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson have already done something together that Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love have not done. Won the division.
Yeah, but he's
I
also got the
oh,
argument too of winning a playoff game with Jordan Love and bringing him to the playoffs 3 times for
Okay, so he's
something.
won one playoff game. Okay. So if the Bears win a playoff game, which I'm going to assume they are because I'm a Bears fan and I'm going to pick my team for this weekend. The Bears win this weekend. Well, now he's got Ben Johnson in one season, has more division championships and the same amount of playoff wins as Matt LaFleur. And then let's say, for sake of argument here, Ken, right? Let me just build the case here. The Bears win the divisional round game and go to the NFC championship. So in his first year, him and Caleb will have done two things Matt LaFleur has not done with Jordan Love: won the division and gone to an NFC championship game. And look at I say this not as like a Bears fan taking a jab or anything like that. I'm saying that as a Packers fan, you got to be sitting there going, well, wait a minute. How the hell did we let Chicago pass us? They have a rookie head coach with a second year quarterback. They're in an NFC championship. We're sitting with Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, and we're paying Jordan Love all this money. LaFleur's been here, what, 5, 6 years now? He's got one playoff win with him and no division championship. And I mean, like, okay, fine, we can understand maybe the Lions, they were really good for a year or two, but how the hell did we let them leapfrog us? I would think his seat next season is extremely high.
That's why I think you got a lot of Packer fans pissed off at LaFleur, is that you have allowed the Bears to get a hold of ahead of you in the division there, and if Ben Johnson does win a playoff game, that's going to be a major negative mark against LaFleur, because not only that, you got beat by him to do it. You got knocked out by the Bears after a season of people already questioning your job. That's not good. But the counter to that, if he sends Ben Johnson home, all that talk about his seat being even slightly warm, that'll all go away real quick.
I also think it depends on if Green Bay loses, I think it depends on how they lose, right? If they lose a really close game and it's like I think that because
No,
you still got injuries, man, and like you're resting guys and like whatnot, like. But I do think there's also a chance, like if he loses to the Bears, he could just get fired. Like I think that
possible.
could just happen
I
because
think
there have been rumblings this season outside of Green Bay that Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat, and the Packers did not finish the season strong. Like
Nope.
they sort of limped into the playoffs, and now it's like you're gonna, you know, if you get beat by the Bears,
it depends on how they get beat by
Hmm.
the Bears, Joe. I think if the Bears come out and just lay out a can of whoop ass on the Packers, right? If that were to happen, right? I'm not saying this will happen. Okay, I'm just sake of argument here. For those watching too, Packer fans, don't get upset. If the Bears come out and lay out the whoop ass, and it's a 3-score win, something like that, something crazy like that happens, I would assume that the talk. Hey, look, Ken's like in disbelief. You can tell this.
No, at that point, don't even bother getting on the bus. Keep
Yeah.
your ass there.
And unless it's a one-score game, I think LaFleur could. I agree, Joe. I mean, if it's a one-score game, I think LaFleur will be able to say, "We'll give you one more season." Yes, it came limping in, but look, you lost Micah Parsons. You know,
If you even lose by a point, if you're Lafleur, all that's going to do is strengthen the argument of that you can't win the big games like that, and
right?
that's
But
going
if
to.
you lose by 10, it's gonna be 10 or more. It's gonna be like
Oh yeah,
get this guy out of here,
don't get
right?
on. Yeah, don't get on
And
the
and
bus.
and
How
I also just want to throw this out there. Halfley is being considered around the league for head coaching jobs. The Packers do not want to lose him. So if they should lose to the Bears, it would kind of make sense to go ahead and let LaFleur go and keep Halfley as your head coach rather than lose him to another team.
Joe, you are not saying any things that Packer fans haven't speculated about at
well,
the end of this season too.
Right,
because I mean, if you
right.
look at it from a Bears Packers perspective, right, and look at the Packers are going to, for better for worse, the Bears are their measuring stick. Like if this were the Lions that they're playing this week and they lost the Lions in the playoffs, then probably the static wouldn't be as high. Because the Lions have been really good the last couple of years. And they'd be like, well, they've been really good division champs 2 years in a row. We lose in the playoffs. It wouldn't be like, oh my God moment. But here you have a Bears team that since Ben Johnson's taken over, you're 1-1 against. Caleb is 2-2 against you lifetime, by the way. So you can already start to see the narrative changing. Bears Packers
Oh
narrative
yeah,
is shifting a little bit, right?
especially
Then you've
when
got
you had that.
LaFleur, who with Jordan has never been to an NFC championship, never won a division. Here you have the Bears with year one of Ben Johnson and Caleb together, win a division. I mean, and then you have the case where I remember the New York Giants game. They're like, look, if we don't beat the Giants, Matt, just stay in New York. Don't even get on the airplane. The grumblings have been bigger, but the fact that you're playing the Bears in the playoffs, and if you lose, hey, Luca found us. There we go. Yeah, we're making you work to watch. Sorry, Luca. Um, it it, it's going to be that's the measuring stick for Packer fans, and I think if they lose to the Bears big, I think it might be a bridge too far across for some fans with Lafleur.
Oh yeah, especially with the win streak that he had against the Bears for so long going into it, and now all of a sudden you're fumbling around with them, and even breaking even with them isn't good enough.
Luke, I had the same thought. Hey, at least we're going to win a playoff game in the NFC North this year. And thank you, Brent. It's funny. I didn't call. It, there are a couple for worst to first and first to worst this year. So the Lions and the Bears aren't the only ones, but yeah, the North was going to win a playoff game, and is Matt LaFleur going to? So that we go at the coaching carousel. Like I don't want to spend the whole show on is LaFleur going to get fired? We still have a game to play, but I think there's look at we had neither head coach get fired after Sunday Night Football. I mean, the two longest tenured coaches still have jobs. The question is the guy that sit in Pittsburgh going to have a job after this next playoff game? if Pittsburgh loses this weekend,
Maybe.
Tomlin might be out.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think Sirianni's on the hot seat to get out, believe it or not. Tomlin could be on the hot seat. LaFleur could be on the hot seat. Gannon got fired yesterday too, so we can't forget the Cardinals' job is open. Who else is on the? I mean, you got maybe 2 or 3 playoff coaches. We could still end up with 7. We could end up right now. We're at 6. We could end up at 7, 8, or 9 coaching vacancies. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Like the Steelers, especially, they only got in because of that missed field goal, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
it
you
didn't
just
make a strong case for
Justin
Tomlin.
Tucker's at home going, "Miss me."
Oh,
No, Justin Tucker is at the massage parlor going. No, but like seriously though, one thing that because with the playoffs coming up, I was thinking about it. It's like we had a couple of worst to firsts this year, like you just mentioned, right, Ken? Like, which of the worst to first teams do you think has the best shot to make a real run in the playoffs? Like, you got the Patriots, you've got the Jags,
That's what I'm thinking is the Patriots, personally.
you've got the Jags. Let's see, who else went worst to first? Seattle. Seattle went from last year not even making the playoffs to the number 1 seed. I mean, they got a strong case too. Let's see, who else? I know there's more than just them too. Help me out, guys. Who else went worst to first this year and is in the playoffs?
Was Carolina in last place?
No,
last
they
year?
weren't. No, they weren't in last place. I don't think, because they won a few games.
The Bears are the only. The Bears and well, there's 2. All right, so the Bears and the Seahawks, and then on the other side it would be New
Jags.
England, Jacksonville, and that's it from worst to first. 4 teams. Half the league went worst to first, and then the Lions went from first to last, and then the Commanders didn't win that division last year. The Bucks went to second or third. The way that 3-way tie worked. You didn't get a first to worst in the West. A first to worst would be Kansas City. No, wait, the Raiders still are the worst. Pretty close though. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, you had some. We'll call that one a deep drop. There we go. Also, guys, if you guys are on YouTube or the Facebook, look at. Even if we're on the backup, you'll always be able to get on my Rumble because even our normal shows every day are on the Rumble or my X, which is at Talking Sports 18. In case we run this situation any longer, just so you know. But yeah, please subscribe to me at Rumble as well. It helps with the show. And now you've got the YouTube as well. Some of you are there. Yeah, I know.
That's a good comment.
I love Luca, man.
That's a good comment.
Kill me, man. Yeah, I mean,
But
and Brent's not wrong here as well on the Steelers.
But the question still stands: like, who do you guys think is the worst to first team that's going to make the biggest noise in the playoffs? Because you got the Bears, the Seahawks, you got the Jags, and you got the Patriots.
Yeah, I personally like the Patriots because of the dominating performances they've put out during it. Now, granted, they didn't have the strongest competition out there, so they're still iffy themselves.
So I'll say this: I would like to see all 4 teams be in the AFC NFC Championship game. Could you imagine a Bears Seahawks NFC Championship game? 2 teams that are worst to first, and then a Seattle, and then a Jaguars Pats on the other side. Once again, 2 teams worst to first, which means the Super Bowl would be 2 teams who last year were in last place in their division.
Wow, sounds like
It'd be
one of the very
interesting,
first Super Bowls I'm ever going to root for the Patriots.
Yeah, see, I want to see Buffalo get into the AFC title game because this is Josh Allen's year, man. Like I know your team is not as good as it has been, but there's no Kansas City and there's no Joe Burrow to knock you out, dude. So like you in the AFC, you're the premier, like you're the star. You're like Drake May is he's showing to be turning out to be a great quarterback, but like there's nobody in the AFC right now that's as established as Josh Allen in the playoffs, right?
Mhm.
So it's like this is your show, dude. Like this is your chance. If you don't win the Super Bowl this year, then people are going to start to wonder, like, damn, is Josh Allen going to be the greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl? Because people are already talking, but that's what I'm saying. This is going to really add to that.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to say, is he the greatest quarterback to never win the Super Bowl? Because I'm here in the Buffalo area, and they're talking, at least from the fans that I'm hearing it from, they're talking that if he doesn't win it this year, that he might not be that great of a quarterback. He might be a Dak Prescott.
Ooh, being called a Dak.
Wow, that's quite a jump.
I swear to God, I've heard it. That yeah,
No, I'm sure you probably have, but
he does all this great stuff in the regular season, and shit, he'll even get you a playoff win or two. But when it comes to the best of the best teams, he keeps getting eliminated.
But it's not Josh Allen that gets eliminated, though. Like, I would tell those Buffalo fans, why don't you go back and watch those playoff games again? Because every single one of them, Josh Allen has put his fucking cape on and tried to will that team to victory, and somehow they just snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, dude. Like,
Luca brings up a good point on the Pats. They only beat one team with the record over 500.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not picking them to be the one to make a deep playoff run. I actually think the Jaguars have a good chance because they've beaten a few teams over 500. The Jags are actually a sneaky good team.
I think you've got a situation too where I think the Bears can get to an NFC Championship game against Seattle, and then you'd have the best defense in the NFC against the best offense in the NFC. That would be a heck of a game to watch. On the other side, I'd love to see a Jacksonville Buffalo AFC Championship game, and that game would be played in Jacksonville, which would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have think about it, you if Jacksonville were to host and Seattle were to host, your championship games would literally be cross nation diagonally, almost as. And the only way it could get further is if the game was in Miami instead of Jacksonville. Okay, I mean, you want to talk about a distance, and then they all get to meet up in Santa Clara. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be interesting. I think the Jags could definitely make some noise. They were, you know, what the thing about the Jags too, kind of like the Bears. Like, look at we know about the Bears. Hey, good morning. We had a Will Vogel. There's Will. The interesting thing about the Bears, like the Bears flew under the radar NFL wise. Maybe not so much on the show because I'm a Bears fan and we have Bears fans here. We talk about it, but like if you look at the Bears and the Jags, as far as the league is concerned, they kind of flew under the radar. You know what I mean? They're a little bit under the radar. So I think anything those two teams do, someone's going to go, "Oh, well, we didn't know they were that good." Conversely, New England got so much pomp and circumstance. If they pull a Detroit, so many people are going to have eggs on their face, like, "Oh, but Drake May was supposed to be an MVP," and then it's going to be like. And here's the sad part: even if that were to happen, people aren't going to go back and look and say, "You know what? Maybe we shouldn't have called it like this." You know what I mean? Like they're just going to absolve themselves of, well, New England's still great. No, they're not. They beat one team over 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I don't know.
point.
I think New England has a real chance to go one and done. And it's not like a knock on them. It's just I don't think they have the experience. I think, there's teams that are more seasoned in the playoffs and they haven't really been tested too much. And when they have been tested with a team like Buffalo, like Buffalo beat them, they didn't sweep them, but they lost a game to Buffalo. I don't know, man. I think in the playoffs, if they were to play a team like Buffalo, like I'm riding with Buffalo. I'm picking them.
Who do they play the winner of? I'm trying to think. No,
Well,
Buffalo,
they play the 7 seed.
yeah.
They
So if
play.
Buffalo's going to get the 1 seed, they're going to get New England in New England.
Yeah.
And if New England wins, I think they lose to Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I do
But
too.
the interesting thing here too, guys, is you have 3 first-year head coaches with their respective teams. 2 are
Mhm.
true rookies, right? Jacksonville, Chicago, rookie head coaches. First-year head
Yep.
coach in New England. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate this coaching class coming in this next year. Well, the bar was set pretty high for you.
Yep.
Hmm.
Now the situations aren't nearly as good. I think New York might be the best situation of all the coaching vacancies right now.
Yeah. You got a young offense. You got a pretty
You've got pieces on defense.
decent. Yeah. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence, like,
Dexter
yeah,
Lawrence. Yeah.
you've got some pieces there.
That kid from Minnesota. God, what's his name? He's
Now,
a safety. Oh, I
if
forget what his
LaFleur
name
gets
is.
fired, that becomes the hottest job out there. That'd be this year's Bears of last year. That'll be
Who?
the place. If LaFleur gets fired in Green
Yeah.
Bay.
Yeah.
If he gets fired, watch Austin Stefanski's name get attached to that one with a quick.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. If he gets fired, I'm holding out hope that it lures Chucky out to drop his case.
Hey,
Hey,
man.
You know, it's interesting because I was looking at ESPN yesterday, and they were ranking like the most attractive jobs, and like they had the Raiders at like pretty much the bottom, right? And
Mhm.
I guess I understand why they're doing that, but I just don't agree. I don't think the Raiders is an
You know what's
unattractive
so
job.
funny is Ken. I was on with Ken yesterday, and we both agreed. You Ken, you can attest to this. You shop Max Crosby. You have Genty. You have Brock Bowers. You have the first pick. You have any of these quarterbacks. Why not get this job? Why not?
Well, even if you keep Max, you still got $100 million in money.
Yeah, 110 million in cap space, right? In addition to 10 draft picks, the number
Yeah.
1 overall pick, you have some players like you definitely don't have a near complete roster. So there's some work to be done, but you're not devoid of talent. You have a running back that has showed that he can play. You have Bowers, you still have Max, right? You definitely need help at the quarterback position. Which you can address in the draft. You need to rebuild your offensive line for sure. You could use another pass rusher to pair up with Max. That would really go a long way.
Mhm.
You need some help in the secondary. You need some help at linebacker. You need help in a lot of places. You need a true number 1, like, or at least an X receiver that can play X receiver. Um,
Yeah.
but you have the picks to address it without trading Max. I think the reason why they're ranking the Raiders' job so low is just because the organization itself has been such a dumpster fire for a few decades now that
Yep.
they just don't really give any hope to any coaches being able to turn that thing around.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
objectively, though, I mean, the Raiders are not in the worst position. Like,
No.
you know, like, would you rather go coach the Raiders right now, or would you rather go coach the Titans right now?
Well, look at before I forget too, because
Good point.
we're down to about 15 minutes or so. Eberflus got fired yesterday, right? Defensive coordinator. Look, he's not the only coordinator that's probably going to lose their job this offseason.
Yep.
I have a feeling Morton's going to be fired from Detroit here very shortly. Um, after the playoffs ends, I can see Philadelphia maybe firing theirs. Depending what happens with the Bills, maybe they fire their offensive coordinator. There are going to be some other coordinators looking for jobs, and then there are guys like Matt Nagy. Who
hopefully,
they're
I
saying
beg
might
and hopefully, I beg and pray we're gonna fire our special teams coordinator.
Those guys don't get fired, man. Like Hightower in Chicago's been there through 3 coaching regimes. You know why they don't get fired?
Hey,
They're
Ken,
so
I'll
hard
call
to
them.
find.
Get them fired for you.
They're so hard to find special teams guys. And you know what though? Like with Hightower, like every so often, yeah, they kind of suck, but then he's also been the best in the league. I mean, those guys really are like roller coasters
Mm-hmm.
because they get the hardest job. They get the leftovers on the roster. They get no time to practice with these guys. And they have no say in who gets put on special teams.
You know what's so funny is I was looking at an article yesterday for my Panthers because our D coordinator's contract at the end of his contract ends at the end of the year, and it said Raheem Morris may want to go, and I'm like, I don't want Raheem. I really,
Well, look, I
really
think some of
don't
these
want.
guys who got fired as head coaches, like Raheem Morris, will be coordinators.
Oh yeah, no, he'll be a coordinator. I guarantee. I told my buddy at work. They said, "Oh, what do you think about Raheem Morris getting fired?" I said, "Guarantee it. He's going to be a coordinator next year
You
because
know,
some of
Brian
these
Flores
guys
is a
are
free agent.
born to be coordinators, not head coaches."
Flores is a free agent, and if he doesn't want to take a head coaching gig because of the court case, I could see him going to Dallas for big money.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what we're gonna do. I hope we re-sign our D coordinator, but
Luca, shut
supposedly
your mouth.
I'd gladly take that. Shit, they stole Al Harris and have him coaching
show my
their
what? My
secondary.
mouth.
So give me Devin Hester.
Yeah, Luca, shut your whore mouth, Luca. Shut your
What did
whore
he
mouth.
say? What did he say? I
You
can't see.
remember Anchorman? You have a dirty, whorish mouth.
Yeah, Packers gonna hire Devin Hester.
Oh God, that
Shut
would
your
be a
whore
big.
mouth, Luca.
That would be a big fu to the Bears.
Well, the Bears
I'd be
already went
like,
and got Al Harris, so that's kind of a big fu too. Like, I was surprised when I saw Al Harris. I was like, no way.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I said Fred the link. Let's see if Fred gets in here.
Man,
He's been chomping at the bit to get on here with us.
but don't
who?
just keep it in the back of your mind about Brian
Fred
Flores that
Peterson.
there are rumors floating around that Tom Brady wants Brian Flores as the Raiders head coach with Brian
Yeah,
Dable as the offensive coordinator.
I've
I
seen
can
that.
see that, especially if he, but once again, with Flores, either you have to throw a shitload of money at him to kind of make, so he says, just chuck my case away. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or you wait for his case to be done. I mean, I think they would chuck some money at him. And you know what? Look, I think the Raiders is a very good job too because you have an owner who's very coach friendly. Like he's not his dad, but Mark
Yeah,
Davis is
no,
a very supportive owner.
he. I agree 100%. Ken, he goes onto the field, he talks to his guys.
He's a supportive
Al,
owner. Yeah.
his dad would just sit in the box and be like,
Tell you what to do. That's what
Well,
Al.
yeah.
that's only
Where his son
that's
just,
only when he was old. Al, if you go back and do some research on Al, until Al was too old to actually go onto the field,
But he
Al was always on the field. He would even go talk to the opposing team's players,
Yeah,
and
he
he'd try
would.
to recruit them. He'd be like, "So you want to be a Raider?" Like
That's
Michael Irvin
why
was
there are
just
a lot of
talking
rules.
about it.
Look at Al
Dude.
Davis. Al Davis is the reason for a lot of rules in the NFL. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
dude,
In fact, there's a funny story when Mike Shanahan was coaching the Broncos. Al Davis was over, like, he used to go over to where they were practicing before games and just try to, like, it's like a psych out, he would like just do any little thing to try to gain an edge. And so Mike Shanahan told John Elway to throw an out and like to if you happen to hit that guy in the white jumpsuit, I wouldn't be upset, And so he throws this freaking steamer, and Al Davis turns just at the last second and sees it, and he dodges it, and then he looks over at Mike Shanahan, and then Al Davis walks away, and Mike Shanahan still tells that story fondly. So Al was definitely involved in that in
so
his day.
I've got a funny NFL story for you guys, but I'll have to save it for off the air because I can't say it on the air.
Hey, Luca, when you're talking about this, are you seeing Dable's OC for which team? For the Raiders?
So Ken, I want you, Ken Bear fan, you're gonna have to stay backstage to hear this story. You're gonna laugh really hard.
I usually do for a little bit after the show.
But what's it called? I'm excited. Speaking of Davis, this John Madden movie with Nick Cage and Christian Bale. Ooh,
Yeah, that comes out next
Ooh.
Thanksgiving, so that's something. Hopefully, we'll get another good trailer after the Super Bowl.
I hope so, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you were talking about with Flores, right? Like
Yeah.
he has a pending lawsuit. The Raiders are going to have to throw some money at him. We just got done talking about how the Raiders are paying $50 million to coaches that are
yeah,
not on the
he'll
roster.
do it.
Obviously, the Raiders don't have a problem paying coaches. Like, so if money is the issue, then it's not an issue. Like, it's just a matter of like, does Tom Brady think that Brian Flores is the best candidate for the job?
See, Luca, I think
I don't know.
Flores with Dable, like I would. That's see that meets my requirement, like I had for Ben Johnson come to Chicago.
Hmm.
Like last year, you guys remember when I said when they were talking, I was like, I wasn't sold on Ben Johnson. I'm like, look, if you're going to bring in Ben Johnson, you better bring a good DC with him, and they did, right? I think that's a formula that needs to be looked at. If you bring Flo to the Raiders, you better bring a good OC with them because that's been the problem. Like, and the reason I said this last year was look at the Bears. Eberflus was a good DC. He had a good defensive scheme, but his OCs he hired were trash, and therefore the Bears didn't win much. This year, you bring in a offensive. Oh wow. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, I just brought. Okay, I see. That was my problem there. Let me bring Fred up when this camera. Oh, we lost Vogel.
Hello.
Oh, no, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. What the
Okay,
heck?
there we go. Now
Sign
we
up for
got.
Bumble.
So yeah, let me fix something I did back here. I just created my own little problem there. Well, actually, we're good for the day. It meets the requirement though. Like if you're going to bring in one of these coaches, like a defensive minded head coach, bring a good OC. If you're bringing an offensive minded head coach, bring a good DC because what happens if you don't? You get the Eberflus spares, right? You get these teams that might be always good on one side of the ball and really shitty on the other. The idea of Flores and Dable linking up in Vegas, like if you're a Vegas fan, you're like, yeah.
I would prefer to have an offensive minded head coach with a good DC just because we're drafting a number one quarterback and but Dable is the one exception where I would be like, okay, like because we'll see what Dable seems to have a proven track record with young quarterbacks, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Fred, to me it seems like the way that these running back, like look at the coaching situation is kind of like running back situations. The best teams are running by committee, right? With like the two-headed monsters. I think the best coaching situations where you got like an offensive or defensive minded head coach. So if you have an offensive minded head coach, you have a really good DC, and they basically run that team. Like Ben Johnson, if you
don't
ask
do
him about
that.
the defense, he says, I don't do anything with it. Like he does the overall team management thing, the big pep talk, blah, blah, blah. But that defense that's the defensive coordinator's realm. I don't mess with it.
Yeah, and see, I just step off for a few minutes. With getting a new coach in Vegas, you guys got Brock Bowers, you got Austin Genty, you got Jason Powers Johnson over there, and I mean, you guys actually have a decent team to start with. And in my opinion, as much as I like Max there, in my opinion, trade him for picks. I mean, you get a lot more out of him. I mean, it sucks. I mean, I like Max; he's a freaking franchise player. But how much more are you going to get out of him? I mean, you got what, maybe another 7 years? I mean, you trade him for picks, you get a first round, most definitely. You get 2 picks plus, quarterback number 1 with Mendoza. I mean, you could start building a phenomenal team. Look at what Lions did with Goff and trading Stafford away. They got a lot of freaking powerful players that can make a difference in the franchise, start moving the franchise forward. That's just what I really want to come on here for and start actually just share my mind with that.
Yeah, the problem with that for me is that it's basically the mystery box. You're going to get rid of a
Yeah.
proven All-Pro, Pro Bowl level player, and it's like, well, who knows? We might even get another Max Crosby. Like,
Yeah, yes, but
I
it's not
don't.
just one mystery box. You'd be getting multiple mystery boxes.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but the whole
understand, but
NFL is a
uh,
mystery box. I mean,
Ooh.
like the Raiders hit gold with Max Crosby. He was a fourth round pick,
mm-hmm.
like, and now they can turn around and flip him for probably 2 first round picks. I don't want to do it. Like, I want to keep Max because I don't think the Raiders are as far off as some other people do. Like, I think there is a core nucleus of young talent on the team, and with this draft, you have 10 picks. You can continue to add to that. I also think that I don't really think that we have an accurate picture of the Raiders roster because Pete refused to play a lot of the young guys that we drafted last year. So we really don't know what we have because Pete wouldn't let them on the field. Like that's this whole rookie class from last year, the jury is still out on them. We don't know what they are. So we don't even know if we have more potential players, right? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Caleb Rogers. He was an offensive lineman that we drafted in the 3rd round. Pete didn't start playing him until the end of the season, and then when he did put him in, he played better than any of the other offensive linemen we've had all year. So, like, maybe that's one less spot that we have to address on the offensive line this year. Um, so, I think I would I would not want to trade Max at least this year. I would want to see like how this draft class pans out. We have 10 picks. We have the number 1 overall pick. If we're starting to make real progress, then I wouldn't want to trade Max because I would just want to continue to add to our team. But I mean, I get the thinking, but to me, you have the number 1 pick. You're going to be picking early in all the rounds. I don't see the need to trade Max right now. That's just me,
Like,
though.
you gotta love Luca's comment about what Max would be if they hired B Flow.
I don't know.
That's such a Luca
Maybe,
comment.
I guess, because he gets a good DC. But Patrick Graham is a pretty good DC. Like, he's survived 3 coaching regimes in Las Vegas. That should tell you something. Like, usually when the Raiders clean house, they usually clean the whole house, right, with coaching. But they've kept Patrick Graham through 3 different head coaches. So obviously they think he's doing a pretty decent job. But he
Yeah,
might be on his way out now.
I mean, they're like, we're gonna see some more firings today, tomorrow, right? We got some coordinators who are probably gonna be gone. I think we could possibly have 3 more head coaching positions open up after this weekend.
There's rumblings about John Harbaugh too. There's rumblings
I
about
think
John
they would've
Harbaugh
fired.
being
I think
fired.
if Harbaugh wasn't get fired, they would have done it yesterday.
Maybe.
Yep.
I
It's
mean,
still kind of questionable on that, in my opinion. He's done such a phenomenal job the last 20-some years that he's been there.
I know
I'm
18
not
It's
saying they
just like
should
Tomlin.
fire him. I'm just saying there's rumblings. I'm
Yeah,
not.
but I mean, here's the thing, though. If you look historically speaking, let's say with even the last 5 years, if you get fired and you're not a playoff team, you're fired by yesterday because they want to get that. They got to get that new head coach hired before the draft, so they want to start yesterday on that search. So, eh, like if Harbaugh doesn't get fired by today, odds are I'd say 100% he's not getting fired because
Or you wait till the coach that you want gets fired.
what now?
Or you wait till the coach that you want gets fired, and then you fire your coach.
Well,
Like,
yeah. So, like, if that would be a situation, right? Like, if Lafleur gets fired and you really want Lafleur, then maybe you fire Harbaugh to hire Lafleur right away, right? Yeah. In a case like that, like someone else,
watch
like,
LaFleur.
but you
A
know what I
lot of
mean. Though
people.
I mean, we're just using him as an example, though. I mean, but I think Harbaugh is safe unless that situation that Fred just brought up happens because they usually get fired on Black Monday for a reason because the teams want to hire their new head coach ASAP. In fact, I would not be surprised if Stefanski doesn't have a job by Friday.
I just want to throw out there that I think the prospect of Matt LaFleur coaching the Ravens is an intriguing prospect.
It is.
Pairing him with Lamar Jackson, dude, like I think that would be interesting.
It just the coaching carousel this year. I'm surprised that we're at 6 teams. And look, like Eberflus, I don't know if he gets another DC job, but then you got Matt Nagy might be, they're talking Nagy might be getting a job. You've got the coordinator. You got Flores, of course. Oh, we dropped Ken. I think he'll be back. Oh yeah, he'll be back. Oh, we got Flores. We've got his defensive coordinator up there in Green Bay who might be looking for a job, right? Might be trying to get a job. Um, the coaching carousel is going to be interesting. And I think we're not done. I think that after the playoffs, after week one of the playoffs, we might have some more.
Yep.
I mean, if Reed does retire this year, I mean, that's going to be a big hot job that somebody's going to want to jump into. I don't see it happening, but if he does, that's going to be a real hot job that somebody's going to want real quick.
Well, either Spags or Nagy are the heir apparents, but I think, and Will and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't think he retires. I think with Mahomes' injury, I think he waits at least another year. I think both him and Kelsey come back, and actually, I think Kelsey and Reed retire together.
I do too.
Man, I tell you what, if I'm marrying Taylor Swift, I ain't coming back. I'm gonna be a fanboy backstage.
I think
I'm going to be in the luxury box.
If Mahomes didn't get hurt, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
So we're in bonus time now. So not only because JB is on, by the way, on JB's YouTube page, if you want to head over that way. We're not on the network, so we can go overtime today, because we're going to different destinations. JB is on right now. Look at Vogel's like, I'm out.
No, I'm here.
I know. But JB is only going to his YouTube today while we're having the StreamYard issues. Real quick programming note: if StreamYard's still not up, we'll be right back here tomorrow on Rumble again.
Yep.
At the Rumble studio.
I'll say this: I don't think Andy Reid. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm not retiring. Like, why would you retire when you're still winning championships? Like, to me, it's like they're gonna have to throw me out of that casino. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna stay there and try to win as many championships as I can. You know, like you only have Patrick Mahomes for a certain amount of time. You know, like.
Yep.
And as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you have a chance to win championships. So I'm sticking with it until they fire me, dude.
Yeah. Good point.
That's very valid. It's
a solid team. Why not just run it back?
And look, we haven't gotten into the playoff games yet, and we'll probably do that tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Obviously, the coaching carousel. Nice thing about week one, the playoffs, you get a little bit of a distraction. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, you get a little bit of a distraction on that Monday because of the coaching firing. And by tomorrow we can start to jump into these games because there are some interesting matchups this week. I don't know if I like this whole Saturday Sunday format. Still, the Bears are on Prime. Interesting.
I don't like that.
Saturday night, yeah.
I like it better than Netflix.
Is there a Netflix game? There is, isn't there?
Lions aren't on.
The TV schedule is a little silly and stupid, but we'll start to get into the games tomorrow probably. We'll see if any more coaches are fired or what coordinators get fired today. Because I have a feeling there's a couple. I think Harbaugh. I think he's safe. I think Miami, their situation's not changing. Atlanta's going to be interesting because they have two different committees. They have one committee for the GM, another different committee for the coach. Two separate entities that have no interconnection at all. So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens in Atlanta, what they come up with. And really, Vegas to me is actually pretty damn intriguing. I mean, New York is simple. They kept their GM. I like Joe Sheen. He's going to hire the coach. Stefanski's already talking to him. I could see that being wrapped up by the end of the week. Really.
Yeah.
They'll get a quick Rooney Rule. They'll talk to Flores again, and then hire Stefanski.
Yeah.
And that'll just be more ammo for his lawsuit.
Here, let me hook you up again. Wouldn't it be funny if B-Flow said, "Well, I want the Giants job"?
Oh gosh.
Brian Flores, and actually in Vegas, in my opinion, is actually pretty damn good. I like that idea. I mean, look what he did with Daniil Hunter.
And also, he has a connection with Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be interesting. So, but yeah, everyone's starting to head over to JB. So let me wrap this up, guys. Thanks for coming into Rumble today. We'll be back tomorrow. If not on stream, we'll be back here at Rumble. Thank you, Fred, for hopping on. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah,
And I can
yeah.
see.
Glad to be here. I'm not hiding in a trash truck at work.
Hey,
I
Fred,
promise.
don't leave. You're gonna want to hear this story I'm about to say after backstage.
And Vogel,
All
thanks
right.
for dropping by as well. I'm going to end
Yes,
the
sir.
live stream here. Guys, head over to JB's YouTube. Give him a holler. He's doing the show. We'll see y'all in a bit. Have a great day, everyone.